Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kids Show, and today we got to talk about Concord because, wow, did PlayStation publish some Xbox stench or what, man? That's what I'm getting from this, and the numbers don't lie because nobody wanted this game. And the launch weekend just concluded. This is currently Monday afternoon, and the numbers are the numbers, guys. It didn't even manage to hit 700 all-time peak on Steam. It's so bad that the positivity peddlers are actually managing to come across each other while playing the game. Yes, that's what's actually happening. There's such few people playing this god-awful pile of crap that they keep coming across each other when they're matchmaking. Yes, the shills of gaming. And it's funny because, well, Redfall, the absolute dog shit that it was, admittedly so, hit a far higher all-time peak than Concord did, funny enough. That is quite funny. Though I will say also that Xbox was giving away keys for this game at the time. I didn't get one, I just tried it on Game Pass, but yeah, god awful. And Concord somehow managed to do worse. It's so empty in these Concord lobbies that, well, Goku and Vegeta said, "Hey, let's fight somewhere that's empty," and decided to fight in Concord. So there's that. Shout out to Mikey for providing that little meme. But it's interesting because Concord, this absolute flop of a video game, was in development for 8 whole years. And the funny thing is, developers are ready to push it for years to come. Yeah, well, nobody's looking to play your game for more than this past weekend. So it kind of is what it is. They said, have you played Concord Beta when it was available last month? While the game might be coming out of nowhere, the multiplayer hero shooter has quite a long development time. As one of the devs confirmed that Concord has been in development for 8 years. Imagine a game that looks this genuinely abysmal, having been in development in the oven for 8 whole years. Imagine investing 8 whole years into your life into something that was not even worth a dime. Holy shit, brother. And these are kind of the same people that hate the idea of conception. You know, like, hey man, people that have kids invest far less time than you did investing in this pile of crap. But they said this was revealed by Concord lead character designer, developer John, I'm not gonna even pronounce that, over Twitter, posting under the handle Shark Eats Man, oops. They said today Fireworks Studios launched Concord. The game has been in development for around 8 years, and I've been there for almost 5 of them. We don't get a lot of launch days in our careers, so today is special for a ton of reasons. Oblige me with some good vibes. And, you know, this developer is putting on this, you know, this little nice guy facade. I at least appreciate the attempt. They said, more personally, I feel so lucky to have had another run at game design with my longtime friends and colleagues and more close friends, wonderful people, and literally some of the best developers in the world. Well, the product that you release says otherwise, but okay. Said Concord has so much humanity and depth to it. I really hope people give it a shot. Insanely proud of the game, and we're strapped in and ready to push it for years to come. Yeah, well, Mr. Hopeful over here, I guess. And, you know, I can at least appreciate a developer that attempts, you know, to not be a piece of crap. You can't say that for all of Concord's developers, though, sadly. And it's just funny. It's funny that we're here, man. Both Xbox and PlayStation are publishing absolute dog shit. Where do we go from here? It's insane that PlayStation thought that Concord was a game worth releasing over Factions 2. Factions 2 was officially canceled. because it was a live service game that Naughty Dog had no interest in pursuing for long term, which is like, why even bother? But the shame is, if that game was not a live service, it would have came out and we would have been able to appreciate Factions 2 as much or more than 1, because I thought 1 was a phenomenal multiplayer game. It wasn't for everybody, but I thoroughly enjoyed the game, longer than Concord's life cycle. But guys, we also have to get into the positivity peddlers in the gaming space, because there's a whole lot of them, man. They will actually go out of their way to try and make you feel bad for calling a spade a spade. These are people that are so desperate to be deep in this industry and to mingle, all right, with suits and ties, that they'll even defend or play Concord openly and act like it's the greatest thing in the world, or support it blindly without caring as to the quality of the game itself. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame that we're here. This is what is keeping gaming from being worth pursuing in terms of, at least in the West. But to get into one of the biggest positivity peddlers in the space, we got Paris here. Paris Lily, who says, with regards to Concord, take a moment to remember that there are real people who for years have poured their heart and soul into making something to entertain you. It's all laughs, jokes, and told you so today, but tomorrow it'll be more remakes, safe sequels, and lack of new IPs or any other risks being taken. I always root for new games to succeed, and you know, it's one of those things where I don't think Paris seems to be like a bad person, but what he's doing is just, it's detrimental to gaming. Being a positivity peddler like Paris Lily is so, not only is it obnoxious, but it's keeping developers from being held accountable. It's keeping companies from being held accountable. It is, he says, well, you know, if you don't support this garbage video game that everyone, I guess, should support, right? Even though it's absolutely garbage, it didn't even, the Concord was not released, it escaped. But we should just blindly support it, even despite that. Because, oh, well, it's in hopes of seeing, you know, games that actually try to do new things in the future. What did Concord try to do that's new, other than be a new IP? All it did was copy everything else it could think of in hopes of being successful. It copied hero shooters. It was a complete knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy. It comes off as, there's nothing even remotely new here. If anything, I would like a nice remake of a classic, you know, if respect to that classic is there. But I would prefer that over something like a Concord. I would prefer game developers to make remakes of games made by better people and following you know, the path that's been laid down before them, because they clearly cannot make their own games and make them interesting and unique. Concord is a game that is made for about 1% of the entire world population. You can argue whether it's 5, you can argue whether it's 3, whatever have you. It's made for this minute subsection of gaming, people that don't even buy video games to begin with. How did you think that this was going to be even remotely successful? Concord is one big-ass virtue signal. It is one pandering pile of crap. All it does is try to appeal to blue hair weirdos in the gaming space that really don't like good games. So I guess, you know, hey man, this is for you, clearly, if you don't like video games, but, you know, they actually don't buy games, so that's why the game is failing. That's why developers have to give keys away. That's why they're begging people to play the game. Oh man, it's so obnoxious, man. There's no risk taken with Concord. There's nothing of interest with Concord. This is what Western game developers are making in modern day. And you're going to sit here and defend it. You're going to sit here and support it. Then you wonder why the gaming industry is so far gone in the West specifically. That you look at Black Myth Wukong, you look at game developers in Japan and South Korea and China, and they're doing phenomenal things, if it be with Unreal Engine 4, Unreal Engine 5, whatever they're doing. So phenomenal, man. And they're not adhering to ideology, they're not adhering to wokeness, they're not adhering to this subsection of weirdo culture. They are not adhering to any of this nonsense. They're making straight up video games that are not at all ideologically driven, if it be inspired by their culture, whatever have you. They're making some badass video games that deserve people's respect. For some weirdo to be playing Concord over Black Myth Wukong right now, like, we have to question whether you actually are a real human being, or if you're a robot, or if there's something wrong with you. But yeah, to sit here and defend Concord, positivity peddlers, you're a bunch of weirdos, and you're the biggest reason why game developers and game companies like PlayStation continue to shit sling and continue to get worse objectively. PlayStation is going down the route of Xbox. You don't see it now because there's still a chance. There's still a chance that they could turn it around. But you choose to defend mediocrity. You choose to defend stupidity. And they will follow Xbox's path to destruction. Because now both Xbox and PlayStation are releasing Xbox stench. And then we have, oh my gosh, then we have the game developer that happens to try and defend their work and dump on people who clearly see the game is trash. And it's so funny. You know, these are real people worked on this game, right, Paris? And we should respect them, even though they don't respect us. We have Free Gunner here, and mind you, this person privated their account because, well, they went full Riri, mind you. He said, I don't care. It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game. Why would I care what a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. This is what this clown thinks of us gamers, the general gaming population that can clearly see what Concord is. A game not worth at all pursuing. And apparently we're the talentless freaks after they themselves released a giant heaping pile of shit. And actually stand by and defend it. And this person's just like, hey, talentless freaks, I actually came to drop some positive criticism, but get fucked. Clearly based on the game, you're the one with no talent, yo. Yo, dropping the mic, brother. Holy shit. Yo, it's so bad that PlayStation has to get their actual developers to make to play the game and stream the game. Then we got Free Gunner here again. It says, I'm honored to have had this be my first AAA game. Well, brother, get out of the space while you can. This clearly ain't for you. He said, was a huge learning experience, lots of struggles, but I'm glad to have gone through them. Time to go play. And then he goes on to beg people for $8 to unhide their tweet. You know, play on Twitter and, you know, Twitter Blue and all that. You ain't beating allegations. You ain't beating the stereotype of the blue-haired weirdos in Twitter that are broke as shit and can't afford video games. You're not. This may be a play on Twitter, but you're definitely not beating the stereotype by any means. I hope this wakes people up, man. It's really time to be realistic about things. Stop giving game developers and gaming, you know, billion and trillion dollar gaming corporations the benefit of the doubt. Stop defending them. Stop playing their garbage video games. Clearly, the industry is broken. We can either say we're not going to stand for mediocrity. We're not going to stand for the nonsense. We're not going to stand for the disrespect. Because that's all there is lately when it comes to videos coming out of video games specifically coming out of the West. There's a whole lot of all of that. And I'm quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I don't know how people continue to act like everything's okay. Just, consume product and get excited for next product. And not for nothing, PlayStation, fuck you for putting this stench on PC. All right, it's bad enough that Xbox wants to shovel their trash onto Steam, but how dare you? How dare you not only put Concord on Steam on PC, but then on top of it all, demand that people sign into PSN. It's almost like you don't want people to play your nonsense at all. Do not, if you're going to put games on PC and beg for PC gamer money, show respect and release games that are worth buying for a change. How about that, brother? But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. If you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me over on Twitter if you want to continue the conversation. And when it comes to, when it comes to gaming, guys, take note of the positivity peddlers that are standing this game, because those are the true shills of gaming right now. If these numbers don't tell you anything, then I don't know what to say, but clearly there's a fine line being drawn of the people that shill for shit just because it might get them somewhere. But yeah, guys, without being said, I'm out. Peace.